Hello, everyone. Okay, welcome back to Inner Life 101. Um, Here we have the hearing. You can see the attorneys and everything and hear their arguments, their full arguments. So we're going to get into that right now. And do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Here we go. At first, she's silent in the beginning of the video. She's on mute.
Violent with her, he's been violent with other individuals, and he did tell her that if he wanted to, he could kill her. And as I stated to the court, he has instructed his followers to reach out to her. Your Honor, in looking at all four of these factors, there is no way that this court can grant the defendant bond. I understand that the defense will argue that he is alleged to have committed these acts and that he is innocent of these offenses. But even outside of that, even outside of what he is part of in this cult and his actions as far as his criminal history and what he does in these videos and what people have come forward, he is a significant risk to the community, and therefore bond should not be granted.
Thank you, counsel. Defense?
Thank you, Your Honor. The alleged facts in this case, they grab your attention, Judge. You might even call them shocking, but what I am going to ask that the court does here is see past those allegations, because Mr. Bishop does remain cloaked in the presumption of innocence, as the court is aware. And instead, I ask that the court laser focus on the Ayala factors and consider granting Mr. Bishop a bond. Mr. Bishop is originally from New York City, Judge. He moved to Atlanta about 20 years ago. He's been based in Atlanta ever since then, even though he has done some traveling. As the state spoke about, Atlanta is where Mr. Bishop hangs his hat. Mr. Bishop just turned 40 in the jail on April 29th. He did spend some time in the Army, Judge, before being medically discharged in the 2000s. After being discharged, he did get his high school diploma through Job Corps. Mr. Bishop has always been gainfully employed. He got his barber's license. After getting his high school diploma, he opened a barbershop in 2013. It's called Bishop's HD Cuts. He sold that business in 2015, Judge, but it's still local, still being run, although no longer by Mr. Bishop. Mr. Bishop does have a stable address in Decatur, Georgia. He's currently 1 year into a 2-year lease, Judge. That's where the warrants in this case were executed, at that apartment complex in Decatur, and that's where he would plan to continue to stay when and if he's able to bond out of DeKalb County Jail. Your Honor, Mr. Bishop is suffering from extreme dental issues in jail. He has a tooth that is decayed down to the root that's causing him extreme pain. He has sought medical care for that situation, and all that he's been able to get for a response is that there's currently a long waiting list at the jail to be seen for that sort of issue, Judge. I understand that the state does have concerns about Mr. Bishop being flight risk. In order to allay those fears, the defense has no objection to house arrest being a condition of bond. We would not object to an ankle monitor. Of course, we would ask that the court allow Mr. Bishop to leave his house in Decatur to meet with his attorneys for medical care.
Ooh, I knew that was going to
Anything
happen.
else that's absolutely vital, Judge.
Sorry, y'all. The
Mr.
gardeners
Bishop
came.
does have
They covered
significant support here. I believe his friend Aaron Dixon. Mr. Dixon, are you on call?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
He is. This is Mr. Aaron Dixon, Judge. He is a friend of Mr. Bishop. He's here to show his support for Mr. Bishop. So in light of Mr. Bishop's significant ties to the area, in light of the fact that he has been a productive member of society and that he has opened a successful business, sold it, in light of the medical issues that Mr. Bishop is currently dealing with in the DeKalb County Jail, we would ask that the court grant a bond in the amount of $50,000. As I mentioned, we would have no objection to house arrest, to a stay-away order from the alleged victim in this case. And again, I just would like to reiterate that we would ask the court to see past the allegations in this case, because that's what they are at this point, they're allegations, and instead focus on the Ayala factors, which we think weigh in favor of granting Mr. Bishop a $50,000 bond, Judge.
Judge, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you, and the person named Nissei, Nissei, if you could please mute yourself. Thank you.
Okay, are you able to hear me now?
I am, Judge, thank you.
I apologize. My voice tends to waver at times. Having heard argument from counsel, the motion for bond is going to be denied and find the defendant to be a danger to the community, a risk to intimidating the victim is also and also the risk of committing an additional felony. So therefore, bond will be denied. I will conclude this hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor, and that concludes my business before you this morning. May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Our next case.
There you have it, everyone. Bail denied. The hearing is interesting. Apparently the attorney was going by what Eligio has to say about himself. So, you know, everything should have been taken with a grain of salt, saying that he has a stable address when he knew he had to leave by April 30th. So they're no longer there. You know, that he had a business that he sold, but he told us he gave the business away. The state saying that he's a risk. He's a high risk. And on top of it, you know that they are looking into the cult. That's what she spoke about, the cult. She was on the cult. You hear me? And the members. Okay? And then, look, Aaron Dixon shows up. He's the one that gave everybody the wrong link. Okay? So it's amazing, but they got him. They got him. And now, guys, for him to have the only way he can get out now is that he plea bargain. I doubt if he'll get out, but he has to plea bargain. Okay? So if he plea bargain, he's going to get some time and he goes straight to jail. But if he, you know, wait for a trial, it could be a couple of years before he see a trial. So he'll be sitting there for a couple of years now. So like I was saying before, I feel like they set him up. They had a plan. They said that they were watching him for 3 weeks. I'm trying to talk fast before this gardener with the lawnmower comes back. But anyways, they were watching him for 3 weeks, and then then she had heard they needed serious allegations. They correlated with the neighbors because they got all these complaints. They probably didn't talk to the neighbors about it, but, you know, they had all these complaints against him, and probably was getting more calls from him with all the other antics he was doing out in the street. And so they decided that they said, okay, we got to remove this person from this neighborhood because the neighbor's going to keep calling. and we got a serious allegation. So they set it up to where they had to move, the landlord was going to move him out, okay, once he's gotten arrested. And he was there about 2 weeks before the other members had to move. So that's their way of breaking things up. They wanted to break the cult up and make them go on about their own business. And then his hearing didn't come up until after they were broken up. His motion hearing didn't come up. So that way he can't correlate where to move and all this other stuff, you know. So, and apparently, I mean, the way the district attorney she sounds like people been calling her and telling her all kinds of stuff about Eligio Bishop. All the things he's doing in them videos and all of that. Guys, that's coming from the people. That's coming from the people that's been watching Eligio all these years, and they gotten on those phones and they've been calling and they've been spilling the tea. Okay, they've been dropping the dime. Anyways, guys, this is real. Looks like we're finally going to see something happen with breaking this guy up. Eligio is a criminally ill person. He cannot stop himself from committing crime. He can't stop himself from committing crimes. He don't want to stop himself from committing crimes. He only wants you to accept it. He works on causing people to accept his bad behavior or his negative behavior. So, that's where we are with the Nature Boy. And anyways, guys, I'm gonna let you go now. We've been on this all morning, and finally at least got the hearing. And well, that's what we needed, right? So anyways, thank you for joining. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace and blessings.